Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you had a good week. It was a good week here. Very good week here, actually. Messed up shaving the other day, so had to trim her down. Damn it. That's all right, though. Summer's coming. I generally keep it a little thinner in the summer. Um, yeah, I hope you had a good week. Like I said, it was a good week here. Work week went by quick. That's always good. When the weekend goes by quick, not so good. This one's all right, though. So no review so much to speak of this week because I wanted to do that comparison this week of Cool Water and Classic Match Cool Water dupe. Um, this is an old ass bottle of Cool Water. I meant to check the batch code, but I didn't. But it's got the you can barely see it. It's wiped off, but the handwritten Cool Water in the in the cursive script. The toilet's rubbing off. I mean, this shit is old. And the reason it's old and I still have it is funny how sometimes stuff happens. Couple things happened with this one. I originally got it. It was 93-ish, 94-ish, maybe 95-ish. So anywhere around there, early 90s. And it was huge for around here for a while. Everybody was wearing it, including myself, obviously. And I wore it. As you can see, I wore a lot of it. I haven't worn it in years, really. So maybe half a dozen sprays in the last 10 years. So most of that was worn in the first year I had it. And I had other colognes. So anyway, what I'm saying is what happened is I grew out of love with Cool Water. It's funny when you're younger, you get something, you're really excited, you get it used for a while, then you're kind of like, eh. And it happened almost like a mass, at least around my area. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I'm assuming a mass. It went from being the one to own to the one everybody owned. So you kind of almost felt embarrassed when you wore it for a while. And then as time goes on, as things do, it became, oh, remember Cool Water? That was awesome. Let's class. Let me wear it again. And you fell in love with it again. That's what happened with me with Cool Water. And the second thing that happened is I lost the bottle. That happens a lot. You'll hear me say on here, I got a bottle here somewhere. I mean, I've got colognes over there. I've got colognes over there, over there, over there. I've got display cabinet out in my hall. Two of them, actually. And then I've got totes and boxes just full of stuff. And sometimes I can't find it. Happened with my Lamal. Remember my Lamal video from a couple of years ago? I picked up Lamal again because I couldn't find my original bottle of Lamal. So I went out and picked it up relatively cheap. Geez, when I was going through my stuff the other day and one of my crates that I know I went through when I was looking for my Lamal. And lo and behold, there it was. So yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. Anyway, I couldn't find this for years. Not that I was really looking for it. Like I said, I had the Belcam dupe. This is my third bottle of this dupe. And I hardly ever wore it anyway. Or my second bottle of this dupe. I hardly ever wore it anyway. So I really wasn't digging for it. It wasn't until, 4 years ago, I was like, where'd my bottle of Cool Water go? So I dug through and found it again. So, yeah, you know what I'm missing now? This one's really pissing me off. I had a few decants. Good sized decants of Green Irish Tweed that I got recently too from my buddy, and I can't find it. It was a good little decant. And Aventus. I don't know what I did with them. And nobody's been in the house to steal them because COVID. I only got them in the last year. And I don't like people in my house anyway. So maybe my dog ate them. Her breath and her farts and her breath are gonna smell good. Yeah, the only reason I thought about that because green Irish tweed, cool water, which gets me into my next thing. I'm not giving you reviews on these, like oh, knows that. You all know what cool water smells like. You all know what it is, how it performs. Although I will say, the new stuff. Well, when I get into it, we'll talk about it. So no in-depth review. You know what these smell like. Mint, lavender, aquatic. They don't list aldehydes in the note breakdown, but they have aldehydes, and all aldehydes are really is not so much the aldehydes have a smell, but it's like it's almost just a fresh, somewhat creamy, fresh kind of, I don't know how to like a laundry sheet kind of smell. But with what I find aldehydes do more is they're loud. They make the pop right off your skin, and both of these are loaded in it. Just for a refresher, I got cool. I'm gonna switch them over. I got cool water in this hand, classic match in this hand. Had them on for a couple hours now. I mean, I wore them all week. Don't get me wrong. I just want refreshers. Cool water. Cool water. Let's start out with how similar they are. I don't like to put a percent on stuff. I used to, but it's just so, I find, kind of, lazy, cheap to put a percentage on. But it's the only way I can really get across. 95% similar. And I'm not going to do like 96.7, 98, no, 95. It's very similar to this. Almost indistinguishable. In the air, they're completely indistinguishable. It's not till you get up close, like I just did, that you can smell some of the differences. The similarities are they're both heavy on lavender, heavy on the ozonic aldehydes, the aquatic. Pretty. Where they differ, I find this one's got a little. How do I say it? It's a little more. Well, it's a little more. It's a little better quality. Obviously, that's the thing with dupe, guys. When I do a dupe, I have had a few people message me and comment that, oh, that dupe, it smells cheap. Of course, it smells cheap. They're cheap dupes. It's not very often I'll say that a dupe smells better in quality than an authentic. It's just almost never happens. It smells similar in olfactory signature. Then yes, like I said, these are. But I mean, this just smells better. Better is not the word. I don't know the word. This smells higher quality than this. And that's pretty much with 99.9% of the dupes out there. It's just the way they go. They dupe them because usually they're duping something. They're not duping something expensive now. But when they did dupe this, it was expensive. So they're duping something that's more expensive to make it cheaper. So of course they're going to use cheaper ingredients. That's the way it goes. So please, if you're one of them people, stop messaging me about that. I know. I've never once said to pick up the dupe over unless it's all you can afford. I'll never recommend that. Always get the authentic if you can afford it. If you can't, get the dupe. They're usually pretty good. Yeah, but this just has a better quality to it. This has got a slightly sweeter, not the cool water sweet. Y'all know cool water's not sweet, but it's got a tinge of a more sweeter element to it. This tends to rely more heavy on the the ozonic aldehydes, which would make sense because it's a bit of a cheaper ingredient than some of the other stuff. You get more of the... This one smells a little cleaner, believe it or not, than this because of that aldehyde. More heavy use on the aldehydes. But a little sharper too. This is more well-rounded, of course. And that's the best way I can describe it. This is just a higher quality, more well-rounded version of this. Or, this is more of a cheaper, sharper version of this, I guess. Whichever term you want to use. That's it, guys. I mean, they smell so similar. It's I mean, they just smell similar. Like I said, 95%. And in the air, pretty much undistinguishable. I mean, unless you're, again, a cool water aficionado, wearing cool water for the last 30 years, and you know exactly what it smells like, then you're not going to notice a difference. Which brings me to my next point I was talking about earlier. You all know what cool water smells like. That's why I'm not going into a big review. It's been around for 30 years at least. It's been in top 10 sales for all of those 30 years. Usually top 5. Couple times top 2 or 3, even 1 or 2. Even the top spot once or twice. You know what cool water smells like. You don't need me to tell you. If you haven't smelled cool water, you're doing yourself a disservice. I normally don't recommend going out and just blind buying something, but you can literally pick up cool water now for $10 to $15. Shoppers has a box set right now. My Shoppers, anyway, they had for Christmas. They have some left over. It's a bottle of cool water and a bottle of, like, it's either an aftershave balm or a body wash. $17. I mean, you can pick up cool water. So just pick it up. Try it. If you consider yourself you don't even have to be a collector or a weirdo like me. You can just be an enthusiast, someone who likes to have a few different bottles of cologne, and you've never had cool water. Go and get it. It's cheap as balls. Don't expect performance. That's where these two really kill the new formulation of cool water. Both of them are all day bangers. I mean, project for a few hours. Pretty beast mode for a couple hours on both of them. The new one, well, it smells the same. It's olfactory. Signature is there. It just doesn't. It just lacks in performance. It's not as loud. Doesn't last as long. All that stuff. Yeah, just be advised. Cool water is, like I said, like 30 years old. Most people are gonna know what it smells like. If you're one of them guys that doesn't want to smell like well, just want to smell like they're wearing cool water, or Curve or shit like that, then you're probably not gonna want it. But most people, even people the fragrances art type guys, will tell you that cool water is just great. And proof of it being is pretty much every aquatic, fresh, even slightly green scent you've bought or has been released over the last 30 years has borrowed something from cool water. It may not be the first fresh aquatic green type scent, but it's definitely the most successful, the most well known. I don't think that's a debate. You can try to debate something. I mean, I didn't say it was the first. I'm just saying, as in popularity, it's easily the best well known scent. I mean, 30 years in the top 10 consistently. Which one do I like better? I like the cool water better. It was a bit of a tough decision, but I do like the cool water better. Like I said, I like its more well-rounded softer edges, I guess, than the sharpness of the cheap dupe. Um, Cheap dupe now, I mean, this is as much as Cool Water now. Pretty much the same price. But I do like it a little better. Just smells a little. Jesus, I love Cool Water. I smell that all day. I'm glad I wore it all week. And what I did is I wore Cool Water 3 times, this twice, um, at work. Again, they both lasted all day. Projected really good. I actually went too heavy on this one the first day I wore it, and choked a few people out. Because, like I said, it's even a little louder than this. It's just sharp, a lot sharper than this. So, I'm not going to hold that day against it, because most of that day people were saying just, no, it's too much. The second day, people really liked it. They really liked Cool Water. So if you do get the classic match, just remember that it's sharper, quite a bit actually, especially towards when this hits the late mid dry down, really smooths itself out and becomes this soft, subtle, aquatic, green, powdery scent. Where this kind of, when it gets to that, it's got that aquatic green, but it's sharp still, almost like it's still at its fucking opening. So remember that. Just a couple sprays. If you get an authentic bottle like this, if you get one of the newer bottles, just load it up. You're gonna have to. But yeah, guys, that's it. Oh, compliments. They got compliments. Half a dozen together. This got more than this. Of course, the first day, like I said, I don't count that. That was my fault. I wore like 5 sprays of it when I should have wore 2. I mean, it was potent. This I wore 3. Always done 3 with Cool Water. I do 1 in my moisturizer. Put my moisturizer on, and I go. Always have, always will. That's just the way I wear Cool. That's the way I wear 90% of my colognes, unless they're really light or really heavy. So yeah, compliments. People liked it. People will always like Cool Water. It'll always be one of those scents that, like I said, just it's never going to be dated or old. It's classic now. There was a time, like I said, when you felt it was a little dated and old. You felt a little embarrassed wearing it. But that's, first off, being young, wanting to be completely in style. I mean, and that's just the nature of the beast with anything. Sometimes things get old. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. Cool Water never really went away. So, yeah. Just, so yeah, I don't normally condone just going blind buy. $10, $15, guys, $20. Buy a bottle of Cool Water if you never have. Or if you've had and you remember it and you want to try it again or you liked it, buy a bottle of it. Which one would I recommend? If you can get an old authentic bottle, Cool Water. I think they're kind of expensive though for Cool Water anyway. The last time I checked, a batch coated 1997 on eBay was like $80. So that's a little much for Cool Water. But if you can get it at a price point you're fine with, go with the old batch. Anything made before 2000 really is pretty good. If you can't, you can only get the newer batches. You might want to go with this. If you don't mind the fact that it's a little more synthetic and sharper, but still smells like Cool Water, like I said. You might want to go with this because this will outperform anything made in the last 20 years for Cool Water easily. Yeah, but if all you can get is the newer formulations of Cool Water, you're still not going to do bad for the price. I mean, you might have to reapply 2 or 3 times a day and put on 5 or 6 sprays, but still, it's cheap. It's not like it's going to break the bank. Buy 5 bottles of it. You wear it all year as your signature scent every day. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I like doing comparisons. I'm going to do some more here eventually. As soon as I find that decant of Aventus, maybe I'll do a comparison of Aventus and Arm Off and Aventus and Explorer. I just got to find it. It's a good sized decant, too. It wasn't small. It wasn't like just a sample. I don't know what I did with it. Does that ever happen to you guys? Let me know. You guys who have a lot of clones, like I have, last time I counted 437 or something like that, and that wasn't even the stuff in totes. That was just the stuff I had. I know I'm sick. I'm going to come back and have a talk about that too. Being a collector and whatnot. Probably do here shortly. All right, guys. Peace. Love. Be good to each other.